In 2009, a secret attack was launched against Iran's nuclear program. This wasn't a conventional strike, it was a digital assault. Before it was even detected, this sophisticated weapon crippled 1/5 of Iran's nuclear enrichment capabilities, and then, alarmingly, began to spread to computers around the world. This calculated operation didn't just cause damage, it irrevocably changed the landscape of modern warfare, ushering in a new era of cyberweapons that not only infiltrate control systems and exploit vulnerabilities, but that sabotage physical infrastructure. As cybersecurity journalist Kim Zetter noted,
"This was an act of war. It was an act of war without there being a war."
The US opened a door that everyone is going to walk through now. This is the story of Stuxnet, widely considered the world's first true cyber weapon. The first clues that something was amiss emerged in 2010. Researchers from the International Atomic Energy Agency visiting Iran's Natanz uranium enrichment facility noticed a disturbing anomaly. An unexpectedly high number of enrichment centrifuges were offline. Plant operators reported even stranger behavior, with centrifuges inexplicably turning on and off or spinning at dangerously high speeds. At the time, no one suspected sabotage. It seemed like a series of critical equipment failures. However, 5 months later, a malware detection firm in Belarus was alerted to a persistent and unusual bug. Their clients' machines were repeatedly rebooting. Investigating further, the firm discovered that the malicious software was remarkably sophisticated, even using a stolen digital certificate to make it appear legitimate and bypass standard security checks. This was a new breed of malware, and it immediately captured the attention of the global antivirus community. They named it Stuxnet. The name Stuxnet itself was derived from keywords found within the code. Stuxnet was a computer worm, meaning it could self-replicate and spread independently through network vulnerabilities, unlike a virus, which requires a host file and user interaction to activate. A critical component of Stuxnet's power lay in its exploitation of zero-day vulnerabilities. A zero-day vulnerability is a software flaw that is completely unknown to security experts and to developers, meaning that there are 0 days to fix it before it's discovered and potentially exploited. These vulnerabilities are exceptionally dangerous and thus command immense value, often bought and sold in secretive markets for millions of dollars. There are 3 main types of buyers: white hats, who disclose and patch them; black hats, who are organized criminal operations; and gray hats, which are government or intelligence agencies. The United States government, for instance, spends billions annually on cybersecurity, much of which goes to finding vulnerabilities, either to disclose them for patching or to stockpile them for strategic hacking operations. Stuxnet was truly extraordinary in that it exploited not just 1, but 4 separate zero-day vulnerabilities. Cybersecurity expert described it as brilliantly executed, noting how all 4 vulnerabilities complemented each other perfectly. To grasp how Stuxnet inflicted its damage, it's essential to understand its target: uranium enrichment. For use in nuclear reactors or weapons, the concentration of uranium-235, the fissile isotope, must be significantly increased from its natural levels. At Iran's Natanz facility, this was achieved using gas centrifuges, which spin uranium isotopes at high speeds in order to separate them by mass. Iran's secret uranium enrichment facilities at Natanz and Iraq were revealed in 2002, with the Fordo site disclosed in 2009. The Natanz plant in particular was controversial due to its size. It appeared to be designed for military-grade enrichment rather than civilian nuclear energy, a claim Iran has consistently denied. Following UN sanctions in 2009 and mounting international pressure, especially from Israel and the United States, Stuxnet was discovered. Initially, no one knew what Stuxnet was designed to attack. However, after decoding its operational parameters and identifying the infected systems, it became clear the worm specifically targeted Siemens industrial control systems used to operate centrifuges within Iran's nuclear enrichment program, particularly at the Natanz facility. While 60% of the infected computers were in Iran, the remaining 40% had spread globally to countries like Indonesia, India, and even the US, indicating its potential to escape the intended target. The worm honed in on supervisory control and data acquisition systems, running on Windows, specifically those using Siemens' Step 7 industrial software. This software controls programmable logic controllers, which are essentially the brains that convert digital commands into the electromechanical processes that manage industrial systems. These critical systems, found in everything from power grids to nuclear plants, are notoriously vulnerable to cyber attacks. Stuxnet's deployment likely began with a USB drive, physically inserted into a computer at the Natanz facility. Once inside, it quickly spread to all Windows-based machines on the network. To avoid detection, Stuxnet used its stolen digital certificates appearing as genuine software. It then meticulously checked if the computer was part of the target centrifuge control system by looking for specific Siemens software. If this computer wasn't a target, Stuxnet remained dormant. But if it was, the worm downloaded its full destructive payload. This is where Stuxnet's genius and its terrifying effectiveness truly emerged. Exploiting its multiple zero-day vulnerabilities, Stuxnet first spied on the system, learning the normal operation parameters, then it began its manipulation, subtly changing the speed of the centrifuges, forcing them to either spin dangerously fast or agonizingly slow. Both extremes caused catastrophic damage, leading to centrifuge breakdown and uranium gas leaks. Crucially, Stuxnet simultaneously fed false data back to the control systems, showing normal readings to operators, who remained unaware of the unfolding destruction until it was too late. Furthermore, the worm was designed to override emergency stop buttons, preventing any manual intervention. This allowed Stuxnet to destroy almost 1,000 centrifuges, about 1/5 of the facility's capacity. Before Stuxnet, discussions about malware rarely reached the level of cyber warfare, but this code was different. Researchers at the Kaspersky Labs estimated that its creation would have required a dedicated team of at least 10 people working for 2 to 3 years. This wasn't the work of independent hackers. It was clearly a nation-state sponsored operation. By 2010, the political motivation was undeniable. Following Stuxnet's discovery and the temporary shutdown of Natanz, Iran openly blamed Israel and the US, though without presenting concrete evidence. 2 years later, the truth began to surface. The New York Times published an investigative piece detailing a joint US-Israeli cyber operation codenamed Operation Olympic Games, which created the worm to combat Iran's acceleration towards highly enriched uranium. Despite these revelations, government officials on both sides have gone to great lengths to deny involvement. Yet, as Kim Zetter stated, Stuxnet was a precision weapon. There's no doubt that the US did this. In 2024, a Dutch newspaper reported how Stuxnet likely breached the highly secure facility. It was alleged that a Dutch engineer, Erik van Sabben, was recruited by Dutch intelligence services to infiltrate the Natanz nuclear facility. Posing as a technician, van Sabben reportedly planted the malware with a USB drive. The program then spread through the network, eventually escaping the facility when an infected laptop was removed and connected to external networks. So what was Stuxnet's ultimate effect on Iran's nuclear program? While it severely damaged nearly 1,000 centrifuges, it resulted in a delay of only 6 to 12 months, not a complete halt. It slowed down the technical progress, but some analysts suggest it may have accelerated the program politically. Stuxnet served as a chilling global wake-up call. It starkly demonstrated that industrial control systems, often connected to the internet and lacking robust cybersecurity, are highly vulnerable to such sophisticated attacks. As Jeffrey Carr, founder and CEO of TIA Global, warned, the takeaway is that nation-states are spending millions of dollars of development for these types of cyber tools. And this is a trend that will simply increase in the future. As of May 2025, the International Atomic Energy Agency reports that Iran possesses uranium enriched to 60% purity, which is just a short technical step away from weapons-grade 90% uranium. This is significantly higher than the less than 20% enrichment typically used for nuclear power. Iran is also rapidly accumulating a massive stockpile of enriched uranium exceeding 9,000 kilograms. While Iran continues to maintain its nuclear program is for peaceful civilian energy, tensions with Israel and the US remain exceptionally high. In June 2025, the United States and Israel executed a coordinated bombing campaign against Iran's Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan nuclear sites, causing serious and heavy damage. In response, Iran has suspended cooperation with the IAEA. Analysts warn that while the nuclear program may recover within months, Iran's diminished conventional military capabilities could lead to increased reliance on asymmetric responses, including further sophisticated cyber attacks.